Payroll is an essential need and it's a right. It's a right for people to have access to water. It's a right for people to have safety. And it's a right for people to get paid. If 25 million people can't get paid correctly, it's a massive problem. I am a chemical engineer by background, and I never imagined that I would fall within the HR realm. I worked in finance and analytics, covering eBay for LATAM. While I was working at eBay, we started to invest very heavily in Mexico. One day, one of our latest hires mentioned that she hadn't been paid in 6 weeks. I suspected it was either fraud or like a complete lack of processes. And as I dove into the problem, I realized all the variables that have to flow from HR towards payroll were broken. HR was managed in Excel spreadsheets. Payroll was managed by a third-party accountant, but he was using on-prem software. I decided that this was a really interesting problem to tackle. And it's largely undigitized, which meant it was ripe for disruption. Mexico is a country that has 130 million in total population. Out of the 130 million, there are about 55 million workers. When you look back at 2017, you started having massive transitions around payroll, which made it really difficult for companies to keep operating and be fully compliant. The industry with the highest number of workers is the blue-collar space: manufacturing, retail, logistics, food and beverage. These represent 13 million workers. But these 13 million workers are changing jobs every 6 months, which is impossible to operate a company when more than half of your staff is changing job every single year. These workers have limited access to technology. They don't have a company email, and they're changing locations every other day. So how do you create a software that allows these workers to feel connected to the company while, because of their roles, are not working physically the majority of the day at the corporate center? HR departments and payroll departments have such a contentious relationship because of this shift in employee rotation. So creating a standalone HR and payroll software made a lot of sense. As I started speaking to other entrepreneurs and business owners on how they were solving this issue that I was having, they didn't have a solution. This was the best opportunity for us to provide the peace of mind that companies need to run payroll effectively and in a compliant fashion. And they kept saying, you should start something related to that. I just dove in.